Hey folks, what a historical day. Historical day. Is Bitcoin and stocks and crypto poised to bottom and make a move? I say it's a historical day because there are tremendous pressure that you and I could not have imagined that's been placed upon Trump right now to come up with a deal with the tariffs. And we all saw that a few days ago when he delayed his tariffs on something like 100 countries, the markets just shot right up. Bitcoin shot right up, stocks shot right up. Again, it was led by stocks. And now we could have that happen sometime in the next day or two, right? I'll take you guys through all the action. Basically, Bitcoin right now is in this in this falling wedge, as I've been talking about. So I am thinking there is a solid chance we can still break through here, right? 86K been the resistance, and then get above 100K. And then, as I keep on saying, would not rule out a blow off top. Why is that? Because you have three people who are in a three-way Mexican standoff. You've seen those Western movies. It's Trump, right? And there's Xi Jinping, president of China. And then there's Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve Chairman. They're in a three-way standoff. And one of them needs to blink in order to save the global markets. It could happen that none of them blinks and then everything tanks. We're going to have a crash like E2000 or 2009 more like. But however, look, let me take you guys through what's been happening, why this is a historical day, what it means for markets and crypto, and why I think we could still potentially get that blow off top. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like crazy because it's right now markets are down, especially altcoins. But it could still very well happen. Let me explain to you guys the path. Before I do so, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that is non-KYC. That means, right? That means you don't have to show your ID in order to join, and therefore the exchange can't even see you. And so that means the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you, CIA, FBI, nobody can see you. Full privacy. So that's why I made this deal with them. Over $8,000 of newbie prizes just for joining and trading. But on this Pablo link only. So if you are 1.3 million users already, fastest growing crypto exchange in the world. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, then the link is in description below. On YouTube, link is in description below. If you are watching this on another platform, such as this one, then just go to my profile, click my profile page, and it's in the stand link right there. And remember guys, it is on the Pablo link only. The Pablo link only. Before we jump into Bitcoin, let's have a look at what is putting Trump under all this pressure. So if you want to know if crypto or Bitcoin or stocks are going to go into a blow off top or not, then just keep your eye squarely on this chart. This will tell you exactly where the market is headed. This chart kind of tells you what the odds are that the Federal Reserve is going to come in to do QE or that Trump is going to cave. Basically, my opinion is that China is going to be feeling a lot of pain because they do so much exports. And of course, they're going to be hit with a lot of pain. But their pain threshold is actually quite high, whether you like it or not. Because they've been preparing this since 2018, because Trump hit them with 17% tariffs back in 2018. So right now, they've been prepared. So they're going to keep going, right, until they have to capitulate. So right now, the biggest hope for the market is two things could happen. Either the Federal Reserve, right, ends QT, quantitative tightening, and starts QE, quantitative easing, and cut interest rates, right? And that'll be like, March 2020 when COVID happened. They don't have to bring rates to zero. They don't have to go crazy QE. Just stealth QE would make the markets bounce a lot higher. New all-time high, even possible. Now for Trump, I don't think the Federal Reserve is likely to do that. For Trump, though, he could go to the Chinese and make a deal because he's the one who started this whole fight, trade war, trade fight. Then basically the Chinese leaving the door open just a little bit, a smidgen, so he can still push open and start a conversation. And I believe the trick to all of this is most likely going to happen with Trump and to make a deal. In secondary positions, the Federal Reserve, and in third position are the Chinese. They're just stubborn. They're just not going to come in and make a deal. Okay. So this chart, this is basically the US 10-year Treasury yields. And Trump wants this really to go down. Do you remember during the address to the nation, during Trump's State of Union address, he actually said in his speech that the interest rates are dropping. Interest rates had a big, beautiful drop today. When he says interest rates, because his listeners are MAGA voters, he doesn't want to make it too complicated for them. He's talking about the US 10-year Treasury yield, and it was dropping. And he's very happy about that. But now it's spiking up, so that is the biggest pressure you can ever put on Trump. All right, for folks who don't believe me, let's have a watch what Trump says straight from the horse's mouth, right? This is when he backed off, caved, and basically gave everyone a 90-day delay. And the reporter asked him, was it the bond market that kind of persuaded you to reverse? And this is what he said.
Watching it, but if you look at it now, it's beautiful. The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy. I think everything had. Well, the big move wasn't what I did today. The big move was what I did on Liberation Day.
Okay, so you hear what he said. He said he was watching it last night, and the bond market was getting a little queasy. The bond market was getting a little queasy. So basically, what he means is this. What he means is that the US 10-year Treasury yield was spiking up. He was talking about this spike that happened on 9th April, Wednesday, right? Or if you could look at it the other way, that's the yield. If you look at the price of US long bonds, it was talking about this day. This moved down, which reversed later on, right? That made him change his mind. Why would Trump care about something like that? Okay, I'll show you guys why he cares about something like this. It is because, see, Trump needs to finance 9 trillion US dollars of bonds or debt this year for the American government. And remember, the US government borrows another 2 trillion on top of that, because there's the budget deficit every year is around 2 trillion. So that's 9 trillion to borrow to refinance from the previous years, and 2 trillion this year. So that's $11 trillion. And US GDP this year is only gonna be 28 trillion. US tax income that the government collects is something like 4.2 trillion. So, and they need to refinance or borrow 11 trillion from the market, right? They need to borrow that money and place it into this area, 2035 to 2039. So that's 10 years from now, and that's 14 years from, 10 years and 14 years from now. They need the 10-year yield and the 14-year yield to come down. So that's why Trump keeps watching that US 10-year yield, where else US could really just, I don't want to say the word bankrupt, but they're going to have to print a lot of money in order for the US government to be able to pay back its debt. And when you print money to pay back the debt, then no one trusts your currency, no one trusts your bonds anymore. Now, and also look at this. What are the chances that the Federal Reserve would step in? Remember, it's a three-way Mexican standoff. What are the chances that the Fed would step in? This is Jimmy Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan. They are the largest investment bank in the United States. And he predicts the treasury market is going to hit a kerfuffle, which kind of means it's going to freeze, it's going to freak out, and then the Fed is going to have to step in. What did he mean by that? Well, he means this. He means this. This chart. Boom. When it drops like that, right, then the Fed's going to have to step in. Now, the thing is, it's not supposed to be dropping like this. Today, the bond market is supposed to be rising because, one, stocks not doing well. So, like, over the last week or so, stocks have done some major big drops. In those days, US bonds tend to do well, yet it's tanking really hard. Second of all, when the US puts 10% tariffs on everybody, like Europe, Japan, then those countries usually devalue their currency, make their currency go down against US. But today, US dollar went down as well. So it's putting double pressure on the US markets and on Trump. Now, so basically, I don't think the Federal Reserve is going to cave that easily. I think because they keep on coming out to say that we expect bad inflation. We expect bad inflation because Trump's tariffs, and that's true. Tariffs cause inflation. Even Trump and JD Vance don't argue with that. They just say that that's the disadvantage. The advantage is that it will bring back American manufacturing. Now have a look at this. Apparently, Trump's aides or one of his helpers at the White House actually sent a message or called the Chinese side and says, Mr. Trump is waiting for your call or wants you to call him or something. And if you are Xi right now, you would not want to call him. You would, because it's kind of like a bad breakup, right? It's kind of like in a bad breakup, if you call your girlfriend first, then she thinks, oh, he needs me. So now I've got the upper hand. Well, if she calls you first, you're going to be like, yes, she wants me bad, right? Even though you're probably like dawdling by the phone going, oh, when did she call me? Oh, there's another message. Oh, it's not her. They're playing the psychological game now. It's as simple as that. So here is that part of the article, which actually says the Chinese were also told once again that President Xi Jinping should request a call with the US President Donald Trump. Anyways, instead, US officials woke up to news of increased Chinese tariffs and no request for a leader-level call. Xi also made comments that only dug him in further. So he wants to dig his heels in and be more determined about this. So, which means the thing about it is that since we saw on Wednesday Trump caved and gave everyone 90 days because the bond market was tanking. Today the bond market has tanked even further, so Trump is likely to. The market thinks it's even more pressure on Trump. So I think then there is a chance that Trump could actually call up or they arrange somewhere to meet somewhere in the middle and negotiate for a better tariff outcome for everybody, US, China, for the whole world. And that way, if that happened, I think rather than this crazy 125% versus 145% situation, then I think that we would see a massive pump in the markets. Again, I'm not Trump. I don't know when he will break. If he will break, I think there's at least a 50% chance, maybe even higher, that he would. And if he does, then the Chinese will be surely very happy to accept a deal, provided the deal makes both sides happy. And in the end, we're going to see a massive pump. Like that's when Trump delayed it by 90 days. And this is the market getting excited again, pricing in probability of Trump doing coming under pressure. So the U.S. Treasury, 10-year Treasury yield is the key to watch. So for Bitcoin, my thoughts are, I think we see, it really depends on the news. One more dip and then break up, or we get the news Trump made the call, whatever, they're talking now. Even if they don't come to a deal, just the news that they're talking on the phone now, or they've ended a 2-hour phone call, could be boom, something like this. Well, maybe not break 91, but something like this, right? Stay under 90, and then if trade deal comes through, it's not too damaging to the global economy. SP 500 breakthrough, Nasdaq breaks up, and then this Bitcoin breaks up as well. ETH so far has been quite weak. Will bounce up a lot and follow. ETH really needs to close this week, something at least above 1600 to make this a green candle and a long bottoming tail. That would make it look good. So yeah, I'll update you guys with all the news because this is quite crazy right now. For all the Aussies out there, Pablo uses SwiftX exchange. The link is in the description below. And for everyone else, thank you for tuning in. Catch you next episode.